Hello everyone, GalacticStorm here. And yes, I know, I'm 2 weeks late. Sue me. Well, when you have a family to go to, which was pretty cool, and have a shit ton of work, then you can come to me and say otherwise. I couldn't even get a video finished. Plus, I've been more interested on the Xbox One. So, we're going to be doing a review on the AMX 38. It's a Tier 3 light tank. Light tank? This thing should be a heavy tank. This thing was introduced in 1937, and it was supposed to be other project, or it was supposed to be. It was made from the chassis from the Renault FT, and two prototypes were made in 1940, but it really hasn't passed mass production. So another prototype in the dust. So about this thing, I was going to do a thing about the Hotchkiss H35, but I decided to go on this instead because it was, I think it was more interesting than the Hotchkiss. Well, let's go on to the stats of this thing. There's the AMX 38, and here we go. 220 hit points, which is pretty below. 150 horsepower, 25 kilometers per hour, 30 degrees per second on traverse speed. Armor, that is pretty good on it. Turret and hull, they're 60, 40, 40. Shell damage is pretty good, 30, 50. Penetration, fucking horrible, 26, 43. Rate of fire, 25. Turret reverse, 28. View range, signal range, 310, 300. So, yeah, this thing, it's heavy. It's not technically a light tank, but the view range says otherwise. So this thing's not really the best on that, and well, it has horrible guns on this thing too. The packages, the 37mm that you start out with, horrible damage in that, and it has pretty bad accuracy. 47mm you get really more damage, but less penetration, which is horrible, and 50.52 accuracy, horrible. The 25mm has more penetration but has very low alpha damage. And then there's the 47mm, which I have. Good penetration, good damage, and still has the .46 accuracy, which is horrible. So anyway, let's talk about the pros and cons on this thing, shall we? The pros are it has above average turret, hull, armor, damage, and it has a small chance on getting a fire. So that's the good news. The cons pretty much blow this thing out of the water. It has below average hit points, it has below average engine, top speed, reverse, below penetration, rate of fire, accuracy, aim time, turret reverse, elevation, and ammo. So this thing is horribly slow. It has really bad penetration power, but it does have a really good armor. The only thing, you can't even go against an AMX 38 without going through premium ammo with this thing. Believe me, I've done this. So while we're going to be doing some gameplay here, and without further ado, let the carnage begin. Alrighty then, Profavka, night variant, blah 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 blah. As you can really tell, the reason why I've been away for the past few weeks, A, I really haven't had the time to make these videos. B, well, I've been out of town. I've been in Pennsylvania, and I've been working the past few days, or actually the past week, and well, I'm just not really into World of Tanks as much as I used to. I have an Xbox One right now, and I play that more often than I do with the Xbox 360. I haven't even touched my Xbox 360 for a few weeks. So you might not be seeing World of Tank videos as much anymore compared to like I do most of the time. I'm just not really into them anymore. Even though this is a good game and all, I'm just not really interested in the game right now. I'm playing Destiny right now, which is a pretty good game, but I can't believe Activision fucked up the whole thing. Advanced Warfare, I've played that too. It's a pretty good game. There's another game I've been playing right now on the Xbox 360. I really don't have the full version of it, but I do have the trial version. There's a locust right here. I'm going to be paying attention to that. But the Chivalry Medieval Warfare, it's a pretty good game. I have the trial version, and I might do some gameplay on that too, just to make time up. And I caught the locust on fire, surprisingly. Low. I was trying to finishing off, but this thing, its accuracy is horrible as shit. So I'm trying to get into it, but it's not really. I can't even. The M3 pretty much decided to be a jackass and just take the kill. But luckily for that dumb fuck, he got killed himself. Well, he's pretty much screwed. It's literally a. Well, its armor's horrible. Has a good gun, yeah, but it's big and it's horrible. So yeah. So how I think about the AMX 38? Well, you don't. What I think about this, well, you literally have to play like a heavy tank on this because its slowness. I mean, up into the higher tiers, yeah, or not in the higher tiers. If you're at the top tier in that, you should play this as a heavy tank because, well, it might not have the best guns on the market, but it really has some really good armor that I'm trying to demonstrate right now. I'm angling on the side and nothing's penetrating it. Not even a tier 3 would penetrate it as much, unless they try to go for like premium ammo or something like that. I don't know. I took a critical hit on that AMX, and I haven't realized yet that AMX, or I can't penetrate an AMX with an AMX, etc., etc. There's a Universal Carrier 2 PDR. It's just about to be screwed, and I just got the kill stolen from me. Oh well. There's a D2, tier 3, French medium tank. I haven't played the D2 as much, so I really don't know how it really plays. There's an AMX 38 too. It's literally tied 8-7, so I'm trying to go after here. I know how armored this thing is, so I literally charged in. So the only thing that's stopping me is that AMX 38 right there. So I'm trying to go after the D2. There's the AMX 38. I see it, and little did I realize about like how much the armor is on that. Well, with the guns, I mean. So I decided to switch to premium rounds, and luckily I did, because it's starting to penetrate the tank now. They should have. Well, the only thing that would stop this tank is premium rounds, and that's about it. So I'm trying to finish this thing off. I finished it off, and there we go, 10-7, and that's my first kill of the day. So I try to get my tracks back together. I don't want to waste the money on my repair kit, and plus I haven't taken any hits, actual damage yet. The only thing that's been damaged were my tracks. Yeah, I apologize just for making a big talk about it, but it's just how I feel right now. There's the H35, its predecessor. It's heavily armored too, but it's what's tier 2. It's pretty much the same as the AMX, I think, but except it has I think less horrible guns, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not entirely sure. So I'm trying to shoot with regular rounds, and then I switch back to my premium rounds. There's the Hotchkiss H35. So I try to angle it up, try to get hopefully the accuracy will take it, and nope. And let's try it again. Bingo. My second kill of the day. Oh, it'll be my only kill of the day. The last tank will be here, would be the AMX 38. I mean, this thing took a lot of hits too, took a lot of damage, but eventually it got me gangbanged and it went to the sides and the rear. The front armor is pretty good, but the side armors in it are good, but just not as good. So yeah, an epic win. Well, not really an epic win, I would just say a typical win. So yeah. So, while we're here, there's we'll go into the wins here. I won a lot of operations on this. Veteran Tankers. Thank you, Tankers. I think I played this on Veterans Day, if I'm not mistaken. Click to your strength. 10,700 silver, sharpshooter, mastery badge class 2. Got 1,500 experience out of it. So, yeah. Well, I damaged a lot of tanks. The Universal Carrier, the Locust, which I set on fire, the H-35, the AMX, and I think there was one more down there. I'm not entirely sure. D2 I got assist points with. Yeah, there was one more there, if I could see it. And yeah, it was another AMX 30. So yeah, I didn't do the best. I did fourth best. 230 or 465 damage, 230 assist, and 2 tanks. One M2 medium did the best, surprisingly, and the AMX did the best other team. Huh, strange. Let's review this tank, shall we? So the AMX 38. What do I think about this tank? Well, first off, I think it should be described as a heavy tank. It's a light tank, but a heavy tank. The light tank because of it having the view range and all, and I really couldn't describe anything else more than it's just its view range. The signal range is pretty good. But the bad thing about this thing is it's slow, but with the heavy tank on this thing, it has the armor to make up for it. 60-40-40 is pretty good for a tier 3 tank. So what I think about this tank is, this tank, it definitely deserves to be one of those tanks that you could have fun with, but you just have to watch penetration wise and all, and plus this thing's slow. So I wouldn't think of it as a light tank entirely. But with this thing, there's a lot of cons with this thing. For my ranking, I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. This thing can play really good as the top tier, though, don't get me wrong. It can play. You have to play as a heavy tank as the top tier. But with some of the heavier armored tanks, like the AMX-38B or AMX-38, you would have to use premium rounds, which can be pretty pricey. However, this thing will not be it won't be good as up in the higher tiers. It'll be like on tier 5 Churchills, AT2s, any other tanks, even up to tier 4s. This thing will get creamed easily. So if you're not the higher tier, I suggest pretty much going into as a light tank in the higher tiers. So that's what I think about the AMX 38. Well, vote, rate, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'll try to get World of Tanks for gameplay as much as I can, but I'm just not really in the mood for it. But I might show you some other gameplay footage if you guys are okay with that. I hope you guys don't mind the variety that I would have. I'm not like Jingles or anyone. I'm like more into tanks, warplanes, all that. I'm more into first persons gaming. Well, I'm doing gaming, derp. Like fighting, racing, all of that, etc., etc. So this is GalacticStorm, and I say, keep charging, bitches.